try to poison in water and food. We living on earth and under attack. Yeah. Ain't about to have what I am, I'm ancient, bringing it back. They try to poison in water and food. We living on earth and under attack. Yeah.
Sexy triple to me, brought the knowledge down. Look, I told her shake that baby, come and flow in the stars with me. Not just about the sex, I'm having discipline to my desires. When I'm stepping off status with a purpose, I've been walking down on them lately. And then come on, B-side slab, no CPS, she tryna have my baby. Smoking cookie out the pound back like who they getting that, man, it can't be me. Said you wasn't watching, well, I wasn't leader when they copied me. And the way you moving, I don't like that, baby, we can't hit the sheet. Just ship another box of us to myself, no, I put it on repeat. Ring left and right, pull up my soul, won't let them drain energy. I've been seeing many falling down the void, I'm not feeling bad for them lately. Many people in the game, I had to build my crowd, that's more than fame. And we independent, Star Walker Records, like a glitch, I broke the game. Before you talk out your neck, please don't compare me to me and you. I know you want me around like my space, but baby, not your boodle. I had to give it the boop, she had no purpose, remind me of a pet poodle. If you don't like what I'm saying in tracks, it's okay, we not cool. For real, we not. You know what I'm saying? We keep Star Walking, oh, that's for shit show. Bust down. I told her shake that baby, come and flow in the stars with me. Not just about the sex, I'm having discipline to my desires. When I'm stepping off status with a purpose, I've been walking down on them lately. And then come on, B-side slab, no CPS, she tryna have my baby. Smoking cookie out the pound back like who they getting that, man, it can't be me. Said you wasn't watching, well, I wasn't leader when they copied me. And the way you moving, I don't like that, baby, we can't hit the sheet. Just ship another box of us to myself, no, I put it on repeat. Some be lazy, and I've seen so many minds get fucked. How you want me to split the cheese, but you the one that be ball hogging. We all got positions to play, so this going be the leader. Or something, pass assist like good with arenas. Blue Jays doing numbers in the 6, they tryna touch the arena. Stepped in my power, spirit walk with me like there's 7 Orishas. Knew it was gonna happen cause I was calculating the seasons. And we way more than flesh and bone, all the bad energy you can transmute it. He could've made it far, but the difference is I seen him abusing. Back in the day it was about the paperwork, nowadays he accusing. Only talk facts rather than where you gotta feel it. Cuz said his box outcasts all the tops, he tryna peel him. I told her shake that baby, come and flow in the stars with me. Not just about the sex, I'm having discipline to my desires. When I'm stepping off status with a purpose, I've been walking down on them lately. And then come on, B-side slab, no CPS, she tryna have my baby. Smoking cookie out the pound back like who they getting that, man, it can't be me.
Shout out to YouTube family, let's get it. YouTube and Rumble, we out, we active, we active.
Baby, we can't hit the shit. Just ship another box of us to myself, no, I put it on repeat. Something we got the knowledge now. Look. So this. 3, 2, 1, I might burn another pound.
Another what?
It's a full moon in Aries, I got my famous sweat in my hand. Moon just sent to Taurus, it's all good if it's opposing me well. Got me in a whole different mood, that's okay, I'ma set the currents fool. Baby showing up in my space like, no, I'm not your boo-boo. In order to see it through, you just gotta feel it through. If you rock with me, go to the top, bad energy, we banish it. No, I can't let them bring me down for these bands, I gotta stop. For these bands, I gotta stop. If I'm on light, I had to shine it. I don't know, I some testing. And if you was really on your path, you wouldn't have done it for the clout. Bought a pair of dunks, I wore it once just cause I can. Someone tried to press and move me, but I didn't let them shake my stance. And for my esoteric bars, don't let that go over your head. Hit the ball, I'm laid back, not trying to fuck it, I rather head. Brother out in Bakersville, hit me with a hash rose, looking heady. And told him when you hit it, make sure it's low temp like it's steady. This a track for the connoisseur boys, you smoking heavy. When I die, burn her up in the 6, he said just keep it going. Small batch on me, veganic, smoke my toast to yours. I don't smoke. Bitch ass niggas try to take my gram, but no, I'm not gone. Sis said she gon' get her, said that's cool, just don't lose your mind when you make a post. The difference is I know you can do it, just don't do it out of desperation. 3, 2, 1, I might burn another pound.
Another what?
It's a full moon in Aries, I got my family sword in my hand. Moon just entered Taurus, it's all good if it's opposing me well. Got me in a whole different mood, that's okay, I must set the terms, fool. Baby showing up in my space like no, I'm not your boo. In order to see it through, you just gotta feel it through. If you rock with me, go to the top, bad energy, we dash. No, I can't let them bring me down for these bands, I gotta stop it. Third number, I do everything in threes. You want me honest team, cause I live like this synchronicity. Aquarius rising, yeah, I know I'm ahead of my time. And that's okay, cause I curate for the future and I know what's mine. I've seen so many bitches talk sweet, I've seen so many lie. And let me step up in your soul, whisper the truth in your ear a few times. Many companies used to tell lies, only step to shine. And baby, if it's not a bag or some box, I'm telling you that I don't got time. And really, it's not about that, cause yeah, many flock to me. And many trying to drain my energy, so I have to stay lean. So many toxic, don't know what they saying, many some saline. Many bitches on my dick like CPS, they trying to take my baby. You can't have my baby, and for you won't let you drive me crazy. Sun in Scorpio, Aquarius rising, anything you said I already know it. We different than the rest, only way they do numbers if they talk on names and shit. We don't do the drama 6th dimension, if you do, you stuck in the whole world, bitch. 2, 1, I might burn another pound.
Another what?
It's a full moon in Aries, I got my family sword in my hand. Moon just entered Taurus, it's all good if it's opposing me well. Got me in a whole different mood, that's okay, I must set the terms, fool. Baby showing up in my space like no, I'm not your boo. In order to see it through, you just gotta feel it through. If you rock with me, go to the top, bad energy, we banish it. No, I can't let them bring me down for these bands, I gotta stack it.
Good over here on YouTube. Yeah, we active. Big threes in the chat. Big threes. Let's get it. How you guys doing? Rumble, YouTube, Instagram family. Hope you guys are doing good out there. If y'all on IG want to see the chart on screen right now, full moon, the alignments, aspects, all that good stuff, just head over to YouTube. I don't have it on the... I did not screenshot it for my IG family. Things like that. And for everyone who books a reading on my IG fam, y'all get noted for a gratitude prayer as well. See the list, the long list right here. We're gonna have to start on a new page likely for this live, but that's okay. Appreciate you guys tapping in and supporting the page. You will be contacted after this live stream upon your inquiry, and all the details will be sent over when it comes to booking. Let me open this chart up as well. Hope you guys are doing good out there. You know what I mean? Coming off this full moon, we will have a lot. We have a lot to talk about regarding that. So let me just note down some of these names real quick. Some of early in the lives, you know how it be, y'all. Okay, just didn't want to mess up that. Wait, hold on. That name is kind of long, so I don't want to mess it up. Shout out to Annie D. I appreciate you. Let me come back down. All right, cool. So for everyone that does inquire, they're gonna get noted down. You'll be contacted upon booking. So I appreciate you guys tapping in. Let me just pull up the chart real quick, and we go get into some things. We're gonna actually break down a couple different things as well. Okay, so the full moon in Scorpio, we're gonna highlight the houses where this was illuminating in all y'all's charts, in aka your lives, where this is hitting what you need to be releasing / letting go around this time, or what may be illuminated. Okay, what emotions may be coming back up to the surface and things like that. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about this energy in many different ways. Okay, how it affects, of course, my lines and for my signs out there. So for the collective, it's gonna be hitting us in a couple different areas. Pause. But if you guys don't know what house you guys have Scorpio in, I would highly recommend sourcing that and get that ready and pull the chart out, pen to paper. If you have your birth chart, pull it out, etc. If you don't, definitely tap in. You're gonna want your birth chart, and this is how you're gonna navigate the current current energies. Okay, so when you have your birth chart, you know your house system, you know which area of life this is going to, the energy is going to be playing out in. With the full moon here, this is going to be, I know we haven't went live last couple of days. The moon was transiting Libra, Scorpio. Last live we did, we were talking about the Virgo moon. Okay, so today we're going to be breaking down a few different things here. Just want to make sure that some of these tabs here are closed.
Accounting has to be right. Reliability, accuracy.
Beautiful, beautiful. And of course, this is going to be based upon your rising sign, guys. So we're going to be doing an all sign breakdown based upon y'all rising signs. So if you guys don't know your rising signs, you will need to know your birth time and things like that. I would recommend you finding your rising sign, because that's where you're going to know where in your life this energy is going to be playing out in. Okay. Yeah. Right before that, I'm just going to pull this up real quick. Okay, should we start with Leo? Yeah, we in the stew, brother, for surely. Working, but right now we just taking a little bit of a break. We're talking a little bit about the energies right now. For all my musicians or creatives out there, feel free to get in touch. We definitely be working in the studio for sure. Hella production. Shout out to you, brother, sister, either way. Good looks. So the moon in Scorpio, guys, one thing before we get into the houses, before we get into all signs, let's just talk about the overall energy right now. Okay, so at the end of the day, what is the full moon? What is Scorpio? Okay, that's the starting point. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about that, and what that means, right, for the collective. And at the end of the day, when we're looking at full moons, guys, full moons energy is illuminated. Okay, the moon is a reference to your emotions, your emotional state. Long story short, everything is going to be heightened right now in terms of emotions and how we're feeling, how we're navigating our emotional state. You know what I mean? Tina, perfect timing. Glad you're here. We got the smoothie and things like that. Grab your water, your joint, whatever you like. You know what I mean? You'll be sitting down, cozy as well, meditating, nothing. That's the type of energy right now. Full moon is great time for reflection as well. Guys, because the energy is emotionally chaotic, is emotionally risen. Let's say that. And Scorpio in itself is going to be intense. So during the full moons, people are naturally intense, and with it being in Scorpio, it's just over the top intense sometimes. With us being in Taurus season, this is going to be bringing certain things to the surfaces that kind of show us like people, places, and things, and how we, kind of what we value, and the individual's values that are kind of coming up to the surface. So there's a lot that, because we feel so deeply, there's a lot that we see on the surface level that we may need to let go, because we may be paying attention to too much mundane things that have no real connection, things like that, and it's causing a little bit of a confliction. Scorpio and Taurus is the polar opposite. It's the light, Taurus being the light, Scorpio being the dark. And it has people, the collective feeling on a deeper sense right now. So overall, people are going to be intuitive. The moon doesn't really like to be here. It's very like an investigator position. So when the moon is here, it's naturally uncomfortable. Which is why Scorpio moon energies are very intuitive, because they spend a lot of time dissecting their own energy. Okay. The moon in itself being full lets us know, okay, this is the time for release. Time for not to add on to anything in this area, okay? And what do we need to let go? How and if we don't have clarity, and if we're on the polar octave side of chaos or chaotic energy, how can we ground ourselves, okay, through the depths of emotion? Because we have to learn how to use the Taurus energy with the sun being here, right? It's about action, but Taurus is about calculation, study, not necessarily calculation, but understanding, mental understanding, right? Patience as well. So the intensity of the emotion in Scorpio, being ruled by Mars, is going to create this intensity to move very fast, move very quick, be very passionate, because Scorpio has that Mars and Pluto signature, Pluto being your first ruler. It can want to move forward in a very intense mannerism. especially because that Pluto signature deals with power and control. So you may noticing certain power struggles in set areas of life right now, which we're going to be getting into, aka set areas of life, right? But the moon is shining light on how and what emotions you may need to bring to the surface, or you may need to get grounded. You may need to have a little bit more power and control in that area and things like that, which is why you're feeling the level of intensity you may be feeling right now in said areas of life. Okay, so with that being said, I like to say this is the polarity of the light and dark. Not just that, but wait for it. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I don't have it pulled up on my screen currently. Damn, my video got blocked for this copyright material. Is crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, chat, we're gonna get back into it. I just wanted to see the specific give reference to the title that this video is, because I can't see it on Rumble right now, because I cannot see it on Rumble right now, but yeah, no, okay. Yeah, okay, so anyways, I like to say it's the light and the dark, okay, polarity. With that being said, Scorpio is the depth, and Taurus is the surface level, okay, the earth, the understanding of the depth. And you have to be able to make an understanding of the depth. If you don't know how to understand the emotion, then you're going to get emotionally overwhelmed. And when you get emotionally overwhelmed, things can seem very chaotic, or go into the octave energy because the sun's in Taurus. You get very bullheaded to where you don't want to change. You want to be very forceful and fierce and things like that in the world. And that's based upon a level of uncomfortability and things like that. Someone in the chat, my brother Sean, Sean said, hey dude, quad Leo, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, rising Scorpio, and my Venus is in Cancer, also life path 11. Nice. Shout out to you. You know your energy down packed. So shout out to everyone who knows their energy, who watches me, and who's actually tapped in, you know, for the education and you know, actually applying the real world information. So shout out to y'all. Sean, I love that energy right here. You know, getting into the all signs reading, we're going to be breaking down a little bit of that Scorpio signature as well. So I'm glad you mentioned your rising sign, because we're going to be getting into that. For my Scorpio risings, this is hitting your first house. Obviously, this full moon is hitting your first house, and maybe we could start with you guys because you know, the moon is in your sign. So with that being said, and for my fixed signs, right? So with the moon being in Scorpio, sun being in Taurus. It's a big square for my lions. Okay, so the moon is squaring your energy. It's going to be a frustration period or a learning period. Okay, for my Leos. My Tauruses, the moon is opposed you right now. Oppose your sun. So, you know, taking actions without emotional connection or depth may not seem as harmonious right now for my Taurians and things like that. For my Lions, the square with the Scorpio moon, it's a learning period of frustration towards what, for you guys, this is a square based upon, because the energy of Scorpio is an example for my Lions, but you lead by example, being a fixated sign. Peachy was happening. So with that being said, we just started, so you good, you nice and early. I'm glad you got in at the right times. So with that being said, my Lions, it's a square to, okay, it's a square to Scorpio, so it's a little bit of a learning period on how you navigate emotions. Okay, so this is the fixated emotion instead of fixated fire. So this is just a little bit of, it could be a frustration for some of y'all, but it's more so learning how to, okay, when you feel the emotion that's intense, it's understanding, hey, this emotion is intense, but this emotion may not need to be expressed right now. This is something you need to feel through. And it's going to be a frustration or a learning period geared towards that, because Leo is fixated fire, which is also the emotion, but it's the emotion or the vision, or, you know, you could say that as well. When you close your eyes and you create a mental picture or a mental image within your mind, that is you using your esoteric fire. Okay? With that being said, the physicality or the physical aspect of it would be the expression. Okay, the Leo, the fire signs, you see the emotion on their facial expressions and things like that, whether they're pissed, whether they're happy-go-lucky, you know what I mean, like whatever it is. Water signs, it's more, it's kept within. You won't even know, you ain't even gonna know how a water sign gonna feel unless you really know a water sign, you're actually close to a water sign and things like that. It could be the same for a Leo if you have a water moon. Or earth moon, it can seem similar. If it's earth, though, less. Like your fire still has prominations. If it's a water moon, then it's like it takes you to really get pissed off for you to show that fire on your face and let people know you're actually pissed. Okay, so with that being said, that's a little bit of the square for my fixated signs, my Taurians, my Scorpios, my Lions, and my Aquarians. My Aquarians, I ain't gonna leave you out though. I ain't gonna leave you out. I ain't gonna leave y'all out. But my Aquarians, and I don't know, I'm picking something up with my Aquarians. I don't know what's going on with y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's a square with y'all too, because y'all gonna realize things gonna get brought to the surface to where the full moon in Scorpio is gonna illuminate certain connections that you may have thought was a connection, but you didn't have the emotional substance to back that connection, right? So all them ideas and maybe conversations and airheaded energy that you may have, thought leads to actual connection, there's no substance there, or it's just very distant. So you're learning, like, you need some consistency for there to be to have some emotional blend and connection, you know what I'm saying? My Aquarians and shit. So that's how that plays out for y'all. So it's a little bit of a frustration in that regard, or a learning period in that regard as well, okay? Because just what you keep in your mind ain't gonna be how people resonate. Remember, people resonate and maneuver based upon how they feel, not what was said and things like that. Okay, let's move on. Shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all y'all. Let me say hi to some of my folks over here on the chats. Before we get into all signs, Leanne said 3. Appreciate you dropping that in the chat. Just catching up to the chat now, Leanne. So I have a family member named that as well. It's interesting. It's always different saying that when it's not your family. It's trippy. But I'm getting noted down right here. We get noted down for a little gratitude prayer. It's just us, sitting down. We give thanks for people who, book with us and things like that. Kind of a return of energy, mutual exchange. It's always good to do, especially because I like to reward the action takers. So those who actually comment and show their initiative, that's a big thing. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to you guys that are booking. You'll be contacted after the live stream. Okay. Readings. Live stream readings. Full moon in Scorpio right now. We're doing a good deal. 25 and above. So all the information will be sent out to you guys. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, it's trippy. I have a stepsister named that. I just seen her too, last week. That's why it's on my mind more. So she spells it with another extra E at the end of the N. But yeah, that's super interesting. Synchronicities, eh? How the universe works. So, guys, back to the energy. We're gonna be breaking down all signs. So let's get straight into it. We're gonna be starting. Well, I guess we could just start with Scorpions because it's a full moon in Scorpio. Okay, and we go from there. Leanne says, I'm a Sagittarius rising. Oh, beautiful. You want to hear this. You want to say it for the breakdown, okay? Because this is going to highlight your house system. This is going to also highlight the area of life it's going to be playing out in, what's going to be triggering, what you may need to get nitty gritty with and release and things like that. So this is going to provide the clarity for all my folks out there, all signs, no matter if you're fixed, mutable, you know, cardinal, etc. Whatever. If you know your sun, if you know your rising, I recommend knowing your rising, because that's what matters and that's what dictates your house system. It's a time of birth, okay? So know your rising sign. Remember, the rising sign is all about you. Your sun sign is all about your career, kind of how you show up in the world. Could be a little bit of your father figure. The moon sign is your mother, your home life, formulations of comfortability. Yeah, your internal reflection, where you feel most vulnerable. Okay, so with that being said, you guys can apply that where necessary, and I'll try to give a little reminder throughout the live stream and things like that, so people don't get too lost as we break down the energy. But yeah, keep that in mind. Rising is all about you. Okay, how you appear to be. Sun sign, career, father, moon, a little bit of the home. Okay, mother figure, things like that. The answer: I'm a Sagittarius rising, Leo sun, Libra moon. Ooh. I always love a Libra moon on a female. It's always a nice. I like to say for my divine feminine out there, my queens, y'all with the Libra moon gives a nice balance emotionally. I notice it with Libra females in general. If you guys know how to navigate it, it can be a very positive thing for you in terms of mending your emotions. Leo sun and a Sag rising. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I definitely can. We're gonna be breaking down everyone's rising sign here for all 12 signs. So definitely stay put. I'm not gonna be taking the most time on it, but let's get straight into it. And we're gonna go into Sag next because we're starting at Scorpio. So my Leo risings and things like that, you're gonna have to wait, but we started at Scorpio, of course. And one thing I'm gonna say just regarding your big three, the sun is in Taurus right now, so of course it's a little bit of a square. It's kind of slowing down the fire a little bit. Okay, I like to say Taurus, being an earth sign, kind of slows down the speed of the fire signs and things like that, because a lot of fire signs move very quickly. They're very action oriented. Okay. Which is good. So you know, the sun right now, being squaring your sun, is kind of a little bit of a frustration to where you can't move as quick as you thought. So there's gonna be some time to where you kind of prioritize, you know, understanding and stability in forms of slowing things down in some way, shape, or form, but like in a healthy way. You know, like if you've been feeling like you've been moving too fast in life, like now is a good time to kind of slow things down, or like get pen to paper, that earth energy where it's tangible and you can see what you need to fix, and bring it to the surface. You know what I mean? Like try to bring that stuff to the surface level, to where if you know you can't take as much action, what do you need to do mentally in order for you to shift the mental understanding towards that action? And so when you need to take action, you're backed by the right mindset as well. Okay, so that's your Taurus sun gem that I'm gonna give you, with the sun in Taurus right now being a Leo. Okay, yeah, and then we're gonna Leo moon, Sagittarius rising. We're gonna talk about your rising sign after we do the Scorpio rising. Okay, Scorpio. Shout out to my Scorpions. You know what I mean. So the moon is illuminating all y'all right now. Scorpio is a big example. I am one of you guys, so shout out to my Scorpions out there. I know for my Lions are like, hey, you're not a Leo. I'm not a Leo. I'm sorry. I am a Scorpio. But I'm a Leo North Node. That's where I get my Lion energy from. If you guys don't know what your North Node is, I would recommend a North Node reading. Their gems, okay? Let's not talk about me. Let's get into the energy. Scorpio rising. The moon is illuminating who you are, okay? From our Scorpios, this is bringing you know, a deep sense of self, illuminating a deep sense of self, to where you're going very deep into who you are, what you know, and ushering in that transformation of self. Okay, you're kind of stepping into the person you need to become, right? There may be a lot being illuminated towards you as well, to where like, you know, it can seem like people are talking about you, or you are on the center or on the front stage, or the person that people want to dictate their negative emotion towards. Like you can often be that individual as well, depending, because you may be an example of how to control or how to keep your emotions grounded So when people can't keep their emotions grounded, they may directly attack for my Scorpion risings and things like that, because they can see there's something they see from you that that you like, you, because it's your rising, it directly it's going to be on you, so it's directly related to you and how you affect other people things like that. So my Scorpio risings, you know, try not to have the stinger to where, you know, maybe you're stinging people because you know how to mend your emotions, but don't allow yourself to be attacked by out external emotion as well. So if you notice people can't mend their emotions, don't allow for that to be a burden on you, just because you're the one being illuminated and you can navigate your emotion. Okay, so Scorpio rising, that's going to be key. Okay, you could seem like you're looking for a bit of attention right now, but as you feel that life has been, you know, too other oriented, try to avoid, like I said, those quick outbursts too, because it could be on you to where you're the one to have the quick temper, or you're the one to have the stinger. You know what I mean? And your quick-witted emotion and quick to attack someone is what it references the collective and how the collective learns from you. So if you're not on the higher octave Scorpion side to where you know how to navigate your emotions, you will be the example that people will look at and say, damn, yeah, you're not doing that right. You know what I'm saying? So man, yeah, be mindful of that, okay? You do count. I would definitely recommend, you know, work on self-assertiveness, how to assert yourself in positive ways. Remember that you do count in whatever you do. There are ways to assert your own, you know, needs without stepping on other people's feet and toes and things like that. So finding a balance between autonomy and dependence is what the full moon is about. You know what I mean? Your emotions are on the sleeve right now. You're wearing them. You're walking with it. So, you know, one thing is going to be embodying the person and the individual you need to actually be and become in the world. So there may be a powerful transformation when it comes to who you are and how you show up and, you know, what you feel you deserve. And, you know, and that's based upon it. It could be attention too. You know what I mean? Just based upon on what you feel. So, but like I said, do so with the respect of others, without saying, okay, it's just me, and let me be the one to assert myself and, you know, step on people's toes and things like that. And that's why people can look at, you know, the Scorpio as a negative light, to where they're seeking too much power and control and things like that. Likely because you wear your emotions on your sleeve. So because you're vulnerable, remember that vulnerability is your power. Don't be vulnerable to then try to sting people. Like, be vulnerable as an example, okay? Don't be emotional, and you knowing emotions leads to vulnerability. You show your ass and become even more emotionally outburst, and then now that's not a strength. Now you're embarrassed because you outburst that way. No, you could get power and control over your emotional state when you know you have control over that state, right? So it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So whether you can succeed as a leader is tested, you know, overall right now emotionally. So that's one thing that's going to be that we can talk about. Alrighty, that's it. That's all. Scorpions. No, sorry, my Sagittarius. Okay, let's move on to y'all. Oh, I'm gonna have to do timestamps. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do timestamps. Replay gang. Timestamps are gonna be on the way, so don't panic. Do not panic. Check chats. Okay, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. This is you, okay? This is you. And my Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising is going to be illuminating your 12th house. Yes, indeed. So, Sagittarius Rising is going to be a 12th house placement. 12th house, okay, is interesting because it's a self of undoing. Circumstances are such that you have an overwhelming need to be alone, you know, so you could be called to solitude right now. You've been busy with all sorts of everyday activities, we know that, so deeply involved in your work and routines. It's time to really kind of step into balance. Like I said, quiet time is important and withdrawal is important. So if you've been doing a lot of mundane activities, a lot of go-to work activities and things like that, for my Sagittarius risings, having that solitude and withdrawing into your own space right now is going to be important. This is how you kind of find meaning and reasoning in your life towards what you actually are going to do when it comes to asserting yourself. Because you have to go, but you need that quiet time. And Scorpio being in the 12th house allows you to get deep with your spirituality. I like this because Pisces rules the 12th house. Having Scorpio in the 12th house is a relatively comfortable position. It's a highly intuitive position as well. Okay, so for my Sagittarius risings that have Scorpio in the 12th, it is something that you're very naturally intuitive, and your intuition is what dictates your action. Okay, 12 to 1. Getting spiritual is what actually grounds the energy and allows you to know and how you want to assert your own energy, right? Being the first house, Sagittarius, freedom of expression and things like that. But you get that freedom of expression based upon that internal solitude. You have a deep connection to your faith, belief, imagination. Not just that, but your spirituality. And the moon right here may be transforming some form of faith, belief, religion, or spirituality, or you know what I mean? Because whether it's outdated and it's getting brought to the surface, there's something that you're learning about some sort of faith that you could be in, or some sort of spirituality. Okay, so this can be either you coming to a realization, something coming to the surface, and this is understanding that you actually need to be. You need to dive in and be go deeper within your spirituality. Things are being illuminated here. How much have you allowed your faith to navigate who you are, right? How much has your faith or spirituality shaped who you are? That may be time to let it go. There may be an aspect of that faith, belief, religious community, or whatever the case may be, that's outdated, and it's time to release that. And that release is going to usher in a transformation. That transformation is going to be what changes and dictates the actions that you take. Okay, first house, Sagittarius rising. Boom. On to the next. Is there anything else I want to say for my like I said, balance with some downtime. You're a go-getter for sure. Let's see, anything else I want to say? You're probably used to downtime. When you don't go within yourself, for my Sag risings, you probably notice yourself being a little bit more chaotic. Like not knowing yourself, you don't feel whole, you don't feel really fulfilled. There may be certain things that are coming to the surface during this full moon, but it stems from outdated beliefs. Outdated beliefs or spiritual systems that need to be transformed in some way, shape, or form. You need to gain power and control over that, so you step into the person that you need to become. For my Sagittarius risings. Like I said, it's an excellent time to get pen and paper, understanding, how this came up, what's brewing beneath the surface. It's like a secret or something private, something being revealed. It could be even a health thing right now, because it's direct correspondence with the 6th house as well. Okay, so there's maybe a certain health that you, certain health thing that could be putting aside that's getting illuminated right now as well. That's it for my Sag risings. Okay, let's move on. Shout out to y'all. Dubs. Drop a dub in the chat. Good stuff. Capricorn. Okay, move on to Caps. Just put it in the chat real quick. Should be typing this just so I know the timestamps. Nice, of course, Dan. Have a good night. Rest up. Gratitude for being a part, and I will see you on the next one. Hopefully, of course. Make sure you rest up infinitely. Glad you stayed. You got the sauce. You're good. Replays will be available on YouTube, Rumble, likely on Instagram as well. So don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. Peachy. Capricorn rising. Capricorn rising. Okay, chat. Let's get it. Capricorn rising, what are we looking at today? We are looking at a few things. Let's take a look. Well, one, for my Capricorn risings, okay, this is illuminating your 11th house. This is the 11th house of networks, associations, okay, unfamiliar and distant type things. This is, you know, rules associations too, such as distant, you know, co-workers and things like that. People you don't really know, but you have to associate with. Yeah, that thing. With that being said, the moon here in Scorpio here wants to transform this in some way, shape, or form. There's something that wants to be released, though, in order to get transformed. With the full moon, something needs to be released, and that's going to allow you to get more power and control in this area of your life, okay, of your social network and things like that. And it's deep. Remember that Scorpio is a deep sign, guys. So it's not going to be the first idea that you have, or maybe it could be right now because it's being illuminated, so it's possible. But that idea that you have right now is not something you usually regularly think about all the time. So that's how you're going to know that, okay, that's what's being illuminated. That's what needs to be released. Because something is being seen right now that's like, how did I not see that before? Right? That's the difference with the Scorpio full moon. So that's how you know what actually needs to be released and what will usher in the transformation that you need. Okay? So the 11th house, naturally, the 11th house, Capricorn 11th, Scorpio 11th house naturally likes to have deep connections and not just that, but who they navigate with in terms of associates. They have a strong bond with their associates. Even for those who have with displacement and go to work in different work environments and things like that, people like you at the workplace. No matter what it is, it's something that like, yo, that's like my best friend at work. You know what I mean? That's you have the ability to establish a deep connection with these associates in some way, shape, or form. And when you show up, they know to come to you. They're like, yo, when it comes to work or people that don't know you, they find comfort to you. So even putting yourself in certain rooms and things like that people are unfamiliar with you, they'll just gravitate to you because they feel comfortable for you. And that's how you can use your natal chart for your own little things. We're really all little magicians and things like that, and we don't really realize our gifts and our curses and gifts and talents and things like that. But that's one of y'all's. So people feel comfortable around you, like they can trust you. You know, you use that for whatever, but that's a whole different conversation. How we use it is a different conversation. But you know, people feel comfortable when they get around that Capricorn rising, because that Scorpio 11th house feels like, yo, this guy knows exactly what he or she knows exactly how I feel about this situation. So they can emotionally, it's a quick emotional resonance. Okay, but the moon here is letting you know to release something in this area. Okay, and there may be to be honest with you, it could be an emotional connection within the workplace that just needs to be released. It may be causing a burden or some sort of issue within the maybe within the fifth, the 7th house, direct relationships. Okay, so at the end of the day, you've been focusing what brings you pleasure. You know, like I think romantic activities is another one as well, so on and so forth. But now you realize like that you play a role in others' lives, and that's what I'm talking about within the Cap 11th house. You know what I mean? Whether you're a spouse, a parent, a friend, is an important element, you know, in your overall happiness, that you can play a role in someone else's life and things like that. And that's that connection. That's that Scorpio. You have that deep bond there to actually do that. So when it comes to this energy right now, validation from friends and group things and activities can be important. But at the same time, it may, like Scorpio is asking, like there may be a release of that, because you stepping into certain things, with certain friends and group activities and people that know you for certain things. Like I think you're probably used to maybe seeking validation through that, through different groups, through different friends, things like that. And the validation may be not like approval. It is like the validation appears kind of as like a comfortability, right? With said friend groups and activities and things like that, and you know, whatever the case may be. So that's that. So like the 11th house is illuminating, but because it's Scorpio, I feel like there's more intensity around these things, and there may be more power struggles, pulling and pushing in this area. Okay, so it's not just, there may be things highlighting in this area because Scorpio deals with other people's resources as well. So there may be deep conversations about activities, romance, friend groups and friends, parenthood, or being a spouse, and how certain people don't hold their weight, if you get what I mean, financially and in other ways, emotionally and things like that. It's a very deep energy, and Scorpio can highlight a lot when it comes to finances. And as a parent, a spouse, a friend, and things like that, there could be discrepancies happening in those areas. Okay. Yeah. See if there's anything else I want to talk about real quick for my 11th houses. You could be the practical one that shows up for a lot of friends too around this time. Like someone may experience something and then ask you for your help, or and that may be that could be financial too. Dead ass, I'm not gonna lie, that could be financial. And then you kind of suddenly find yourself around a group of people, and you're like, I didn't do this, or I didn't put myself in this group of people based upon guilty by association energy as well. So you kind of have to be mindful of who you're connected to based upon who what that connection associates with, and that may get you involved in certain discrepancies, guilty by association, as I said, and other things like that. But I do see you're a big friend and big supporter to your friends and things like that. You're a great friend, you know what I mean? Like, you understand that. That it's interesting because that 11th house is an Aquarian energy. Scorpio there deeply understands that humanitarian type energy. As Aquariuses are, they understand. That's why Aquariuses, they love the collective but not individual people. Yeah, because humanity is great, but sometimes people on an individual level can be like, oh shit, So like the Scorpio there loves the connection on that level. Like, they love the support, the emotional substance. Like I said, this may be highlighting something for you to be released. So maybe there's there may be a crisis. So someone may be asking for your help. Maybe other people and things like that, being illuminated to where it's distant, familiar or unfamiliar, friend groups, associations, etc. But you look at it to where it's pulling your energy in a way that you don't have power and control, because that's what you need to release. That's where you need to let it go. See, this is an interesting energy. I know I'm breaking it down, but like Aquarian is mad weird. But every time I talk about Aquarius, it's always like, it may seem just different, but that's how it is. Like, it's just different. Like Uranus, so you have to understand how to navigate it. But you see, Scorpio wants you to deeply look at the associations that you run into, like power struggles with and financial struggles with. And it could be power struggles that are based upon finances. Okay, those are some things that I'd say in terms of a theme that I'd highlight and look at. Be aware. You probably already had some of these, had some of these conversations, or seen this illuminate in your life already as well, because we're at like 26, 27 degrees of this transit. So a lot of y'all may have felt this Thursday, Friday, and things like that, second half of the week. Okay? That's one thing I would say. Peachy said facts. Good shit, J Peach. Good gems, good gems. Let me catch up to the chat real quick. Give me 2 seconds, chatty chats. Let me see who's Lilia Maria said, my Leo. I see you. Mother of a group not even main into it. Yeah, I feel you, Peachy. Manhattan. Whoa, I thought I was gonna say Manhattan, but no. Rattan, appreciate you tapping in. Megan Scott, that's who's I wanted to write. Appreciate you tapping in, Megan. for the personal reading. I'm going to be reaching out. Personal readings for the full moon, guys. Full moon readings. We got the full moon special, 25 and above. Make sure to lock it in. Now's the time. You want the sauce. You want the gems. We don't give deals like this as often. For all the regulars, y'all know y'all know live deals are 50 and above. Megan Scott. Okay, cool. I want to make sure I get that name written down well. Yeah, perfect. All right. Aprito 810 said, Lil married to a wonderful Scorpio, 45 years strong. Ah, beautiful. Love that. Shout out to my Lion Scorpion relationships, man. People want to talk bad on them. People want, but that see, the thing is, you see a lot of people talking bad on them because the attraction is there. You know, the attraction is 100% there. You know, so you have to remember that. It's a square, so we learn from each other. You know, and that's going to be prominent throughout our lives. And the thing is, you have to remember that the squares often gravitate to each other's too, because fire and water, they're like yin and yang, but on the polarity of emotions, because fire signs and water signs are both the feelers, but you see they can balance each other out if you know what you're doing, right? Scorpio and Leo square is beautiful because Leo is a summer sign and Scorpio is a fall sign. You know, they're ruled by Pluto and Mars and things like that, death and transformation. So when it comes to Leo is a summer sign, right? Scorpio is a fall sign, and Leo for Scorpio is the last fixated portion of the sky before Scorpio season. So that is the Scorpio. That as a Scorpio, Leo is my death season. So they're always they support the transformations that Scorpios go through. In some way, shape, or form, it just plays out like that. So it's natural. Like it can be enjoyable for the lions. Not for the lions, but for the scorpions, because at the end of the day, their transformation and what they're always going through doesn't change how the Leo sees them. Other people will look at the Scorpio and be like, "Bro, you're a whole different person." Like, you know, like some stupid shit. And then like Leo would be like Leo, that they don't forget like who the Scorpio, you know what I mean? Like who the Scorpio is and shit like that. No matter what transformation they going through, and stuff like that. Leo to Leo, yeah, for black and proud, for surely. You already know. Love you. Appreciate you tapping in. See, the thing is with Leo and Scorpio, just to finish this off for my people that have the good relationships and things like that, right? Scorpio, obviously, ruled by Pluto, death and transformation. So Leo being the death season for Scorpio, remember, Leo, and then Virgo, Libra, and then Scorpio season again. So that's the last portion of the sky where Scorpio's going, before Scorpio's birth month. So that's natural Scorpio energy. Leos are natural Scorpio energy because they're putting Scorpios through their death, their transformation. Could be death physically sometimes when they clash, and that's what happens. But spiritually speaking, it comes from that. So because that's why Scorpio is comfortable with the Leo, because their transformation is they learn from each other. With it being Leo being their born season, Scorpio is the next fixated portion of the sky for my lions. So for those who are Leos, Scorpio season is your summer season. Remember, Leo is your birth month. That's your birth season. We have 3 months of that. Then you have your summer. Just like we have spring, summer, fall, winter, you have your own spring, summer, fall, winter. So my Scorpions, y'all Leo portion of the sky is your winter or your death, or whatever the case may be, okay? My Leos, your birth month and things like that is your birth season. Scorpio is your next fixated portion in the sky. That's your summer portion, okay? So Scorpios naturally uphold who you need to do and who you need to be. Not what you need to do, but who you need to be. So a lot of times they know the transformation that Leos need to be and need to become. And that's why they can support each other like that, because Scorpio will always push the Leo to be someone they know they need to be. But sometimes Leo is too fixated in their nature. They need to learn the transformation that the Scorpio is going through and how the Scorpio puts themselves through different transformations to get to where they need to go. But some people are uncomfortable putting themselves through transformation, so that's where the Leo and the Scorpio resonates, because the Leo can look at the Scorpio and find emotional comfortability, and the Scorpio, being a water sign, can be like, hey Leo, it's just a transformation, don't worry, we're comfortable, it's fine, you'll be okay. And that's how it works. So, and that's why we have years of beautiful relationships and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dubs, that's a good point though. Black and proud, yeah, hey, for surely. Scorps with a Leo North Node, that's me. So, I'm with an Aquarius Pisces rising, well balanced, man. We got all these fixated energies, believe me. Let's continue moving on though. That's a different topic, but I'm glad to break that down. So if anyone wants relationship breakdowns and things like that with you and your partner, just let me know. We'll do a little bit more of a Q&A at the end, okay? For my Aquariuses, this is going to be illuminating your 10th house of business, career, status, okay? At the end of the day, being in the 10th house right now, this can be illuminating the 10th house to maybe putting you in the spotlight and things like that, like making people notice you in some way, shape, or form. One, it's time to put your best foot forward. Be sure to do with grace and consideration of others, though. Always be mindful of that. You may just make a display of what you regret later, so keep that in mind. Perhaps you may be hiding yourself away or taking it easy. Now you need a little. Now you may need a little bit of attention right now. But you see, this is why maybe certain things may be stepping into the forefront, coming to the forefront, because you may be dimming your light or putting yourself to the side in certain ways. Okay, keep that in mind. Right now is a good time to kind of show up, perform. You may have noticed yourself kind of do things in the limelight of business and career, and in a moment's notice and things like that, like quick-witted endeavors. Like something's happening and like you have your day planned, and then all of a sudden this thing comes to take you over here, and then this thing happens to take you over there. That's the type of energy we're experiencing all week for my Aquarius risings. Okay. If you notice a sudden job opportunity as well as some sort of like maybe financial assistance coming in this area, that can help support career, home, or even property matters. Okay, could be a part of this picture right now. This may be having you release some sort of baggage and kind of be a little bit more responsible, and kind of take a little bit more charge, kind of assert yourself a little bit more in your life from Aquarius risings. And with that being said, I need to put this in the chat because I need to know my timestamps in the future. So my Aquarians, 10th house. So there's going to be something you need to get power and control or transform within your house of career status. What you uphold and things like that in the world and how you're seen. There may be certain things as well. Like I said, watch for things being illuminated here, like power and control around your status. Like I'm hearing like power struggles towards who you are and how you're seeing your image, things like that. Okay, my Aquarius risings. 10th house is your career and the energy that you uphold. You may seem to get a little bit more power in this area, power and control in this area, or lacking it, okay? If it's illuminated, there's something that needs to be released, and that'll allow you to kind of transform. There has to be an emotion. You had some sort of emotion towards who you are, how you're seen, what you put out there. That has to be released in order for you to step into who you actually are, okay? And bring in what you actually deserve. Anything else I want to touch on about for my Aquarius risings? Give me 2 seconds. Let me see. Tenth house is really Capricorn house, so it's really getting deep. The Scorpio moon here is just getting deep with who you are, what you want to uphold. What do you see for yourself as a career, right? Who are you and what you do? What do you do? Does what you do represent who you are on a level that you emotionally resonate with? If not, what needs to be released in this area so you can step into a version of yourself that's proud of upholding what you're doing? Because for some of my Aquarius risings, what you're doing and the image that you have may not be emotionally resonant. So, and for those who are getting good business opportunities around this area, business and career opportunities and things like that, in the workplace, promotion, this could be, like I said, government assistance, things like that around this time, extra income, then you know that you that the thing that you're doing and upholding is on the positive scale and you do resonate with it emotionally. Okay, so I'm showing you guys how to make the difference and on the polarity in terms of which octave you guys are on. You guys are either on the lower octave, higher octave. Okay, if you already are emotionally resonant with what you uphold for my Aquarius risings, you're going to notice more opportunities. You're going to notice more assistance. You're going to notice a job opportunity, right? And this could be happening towards your career, your home, and possibly new property, right? Like rental matters and things like that. This is illuminating and growing your status, okay? Maybe increasing your responsibility, and you may be feeling that right now. But this is the transformation that needs to be had in order for you to have the power and control that emotionally resonates in your life. And you're not going in, you're not dealing with any power struggles and things like that, okay? My Aquarius risings, like that. Morning Star, how you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna note you down for your reading and get you. Live stream reading deal right now is 25 and above, so make sure you guys lock it in. It is the full moon, so we will be going above and beyond for these readings. You know we always do though. You know, for everyone who's got a reading by us, you know we go above and beyond. We had to we weren't live this whole week because we had to deliver a few that took some time. So shout out to all those booking and things like that. Let me write your name down here. Mr. Morningstar. It reminds me of you ever watch the movie Lucifer? The TV show Lucifer? You know, to all those that may hear that, they're like, and they have their own discrepancies on their mind, like, oh my God, Lucifer, you know? Yeah, that's a good show. It's a good TV show, though. He was a good actor as well. Waiting for season 3. Or I think it's season 3. I think it's season 3. But I got you noted down, brother. Make sure to get you a reading for sure. Full moon. Clifford, you say, I think you dropped your rising sign, I think, as well. I don't know if we got to that. I don't know if you were the Sag rising. I'm not too sure, but we're trucking through. We're on Pisces now, though. So, you know, we're trucking through all the signs. Let's see. Appreciate everyone's patience. We're on Pisces. I'm going to put it in the chat. Pisces. I'll try to do both chats for you guys. Sun, moon, rising. There we go. That way y'all can know. I don't want to get rid of my pin. I wish I could pin that would be cool. Pin multiple things on your live stream. That would, I need to send a request to Instagram or something. Alright, Clifford said, what blocks or challenges am I overcoming in my journey to experience more love? That's a great question. That is a question for the tarot, and it is the Scorpio full moon, so I will 100% pull a card for you, no problem, after the stream. So if you're down, if you're still here after the stream, let's get it. It should be maybe like 20 minutes, 25, and then we're going to go into a Q&A thing, and I may pull some cards for the people that are in the live, that are in the chat, that are dropping requests, and I don't mind at all. I tell you guys all the time. We do charge for readings, but there's a lot of free value I give to my audience. There's some people that send us messages, and sometimes they'll be pissed. They'll reply to the automation pissed off, like, I don't want to pay for this shit. I'm like, holy, like, relax. Like, yo, like, it's some automation. I'd be laughing and shit. It'd be really funny though. Because like some people will take the spiritual stuff like not that serious, but like it's my job. Like I work with politicians and athletes and actors and stuff like that, artists. So it'd be different for me. Like I have to see perspectives of like people sometimes. I'm like, ugh. So that's why like I'll come on live and just go live for you know, one time a week and things like that. And the rest of the week, chat, we active, we busy doing a bunch of readings in the back end. So for my Pisces, my Pisceans, I'm one of y'all as well. I have a whole Pisces in the first house, Jupiter in the first house, and things like that. So this is illuminating majority of my 9th house, like just like y'all. So with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, the 9th house, Pisces, is the house of Sagittarius. Okay, you know, this is Sagittarius' birth space and things like that. It's a house of meaning and reasoning. And Jupiter, you can see the God signature is here, resides here. The full moon, it's illuminating deep forms of education and also forms of faith. Okay, beliefs in religious matters. This has similar connotations to Sag risings from the 12th house. Okay, the 9th house, similar Sagittarius signature, but it deals with more so who you learn from and you know, your ability to teach and things like that. I'm from Canada. I'm Canadian. I'm on the East Coast, Niagara Falls, Buffalo, things like that. I live like right by the New York border. Not to say too much. Yeah. Shout out to my New Yorkers. Shout out to my Canadians. We have whole walks of life on this page, man. Y'all from around the world with me. That's for surely. Let's see. 9th house. Okay. So Pisces. Make sure I drop it in the chat. So I know timestamps. Boom. Okay, your attention to the your logical world of reason has been on focus for the last 2 weeks, of course. Now you feel a crisis of maybe lack. There may be something coming in to where, because Sagittarius is very adventurous as well. So, you know, your personal beliefs may be tested. Your impulses and faith, you know, matter. They do matter right now. They matter in general. So this is reminding you of certain impulses and certain faith, belief, and, you know, maybe even forms of education that you learned from that supported, you know, your faith and your spirituality and things like that. Reminding yourself that those things do matter, that they did have an impact, which is why you're in the position you're in. Okay, all of the attention you've been giving to certain mundane things and affairs has you wondering as well, because you've been putting a lot of work for my Pisces risings, things like that. You've probably been focusing on work a lot within the last little bit, which is what I say, you know, mundane matters and mundane affairs. It's more earth type things, you know, more practical type things. And now you're kind of wondering, you know, when you can branch out, when it's time to have some fun, when it's time to be a little bit more free. It's kind of about taking that leap of faith right now. So the adventurous side pushes you and kind of demanding that attention. So but with Scorpio here, it's adventurous towards deep connection. So you're finding that deep connection within, like, travel can be important as well within adventure. I think you learning and you finding that spirituality and going deep within your spirituality and your faith belief, that's what allows you to be and to feel free. So I think there's certain things that is being illuminated right now on the mundane side that it's taking the connection away from your, you know, what you like to learn, who you like to learn from. I think it's took away this energy for the last little bit in your life, Pisces, to where you can't have that same fun anymore. It doesn't feel like learning and going through spiritual endeavors and topics and things like that actually fuel you, because you've been focusing more on, like, maybe there's work, maybe there's a job or a home thing that you're focusing on. So right now it's like you're there's certain things that you may need to let go or reposition just emotionally, where you're prioritizing a lot of the attention and time. That way you can refuel and gain a little bit more power and control over your emotional state based upon, your meaning and reasoning, what you like to learn, what you study, your field of study. I'm hearing field of study. So what is the field of study that you like, that makes you intrigued, and that allows you to want to learn more? That is that for you, Pisces, okay? And it's how, because it allows you to use your higher mind towards these things, towards how you want to go about what you do. Because I feel like for y'all, learning about different, even travel and expanding your creative nature, expanding your waters, I can say, that keeps you intrigued within the world. I think it keeps you intrigued within your world. Which is what a lot of people don't understand about Pisces, is that most of them are in their world. That's why Pisces is here. Half the time they here, they're not here. You'll never know if a Pisces are around, you know what I mean? They live in their world. And that is cultivated through faith, belief, and imagination. So there's certain things that you've been on the mind that are more mundane, that has taken away that spark, that curiosity, you know, that adventurous side, okay? So what do you need, you know, what kind of needs to be let go, or what needs to be shifted emotionally, transformed emotionally, to where you can gravitate toward more of the things that intrigue you, that make you more adventurous, that allow you to learn more, that allow you to expand your mind. Where are these things? Could be possibly ninth house. It may be like getting back into the books, getting back into your education, getting back into your notes, your journaling, whatever it is that allows you to utilize your higher mind. You get power and control here throughout your life, because emotionally this is what grounds you. And if you're grounded emotionally, remember, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So if you can control your internal state, your external world will reflect that. And that's what we're being reminded of. Okay, my Pisces, that's a great way to end that off. We're going to move on and go straight into my Aries. Okay, so my Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. Oh no, and my battery died, chat. Luckily, we're going to be right back. We're going to be right back, chat. Give me a second. Let me plug this in real quick. All right, we back, chat. We back at it. We back at it. Back at it again. 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 What's up? What's up? Shout out to everyone coming through. We gotta redo this live. Let me pin this message real quick. Everyone coming through. What's up? What's up? I hope everyone's doing strong, doing well. We've been breaking down some of the energies and things like that. Good morning. All the rising signs, we're doing all sign breakdown right now for the full moon in Scorpio. If you know your rising sign, I definitely recommend you listen up and listen in. We will be posting the replay, gang. We will be posting the replay for our replay gang and things like that. Full replay will be up on our YouTube and Rumble, because this live stream did cut halfway through. But yeah, shout out to all the returning viewers and things like that, and all the new folks saying hi. What's up? Son, I see you. We just finished Pisces rising. Okay, Pisces rising. We're going to be moving on to Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising next, okay? Breaking down this energy and how to navigate it. All signs through the houses, okay? So if you guys know what houses y'all have Scorpio in, you guys want to listen up right now, for surely. For all the people that was on our last live stream, if there's anyone here from our last live stream, yeah, no, our device just died, so don't be mind, no, don't be alarmed. Do not be alarmed. And at least it died at the right time, okay? Jen, what's up, Jen? How you doing? Phone died at the right time. We weren't in between anything, so we'll post the previous stream, and then we'll post this one separately as well. Okay. With that being said, the moon is 27 degrees in Scorpio, guys. You've had this full moon illuminating here for like the last little bit, Friday, Thursday, and we're gonna be breaking down Aries. Okay, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. If you guys are listening in, your rising is all about you, the moon is all about your career, and the sun is all about your career, the moon is all about your emotions, okay? Appreciate you guys tapping in. Let's get it. Anyways, let's not waste any time. We're gonna get straight into it because I know we've been doing this. So back at it. Let's start with Aries. So for my Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, this is illuminating y'all 8th house. Y'all 8th house of chunky money, I like to say. It's a chunky money house. So with that being said, if my Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, y'all gonna have to worry about other people's resources, okay? It's being illuminated right now. And the full moon in Scorpio is letting you know that there may be certain things being released when it comes to other people's resources, okay? And earnings and things like that. It doesn't have to necessarily be chunky money or external income, loans, 401ks, things like that, spousal money and things like that, but other people's resources. So it's not just about money, but you could be separating from certain connections or that was resourceful previously and things like that. Like there are certain people, places, and things that was resourceful in your life from my Aries risings. That is being illuminated right now. That's letting go because you're realizing they're not as resourceful as you thought, or not as resourceful as initially you felt. So I would say felt is a better word for it. So yeah, there's some separation there. You said, you know what? Let me balance out. Let me leave. So my Aries risings, going through some separation from the 8th house, can deal with people in this area that are using you for your resources and things like that, using you for your income and your passion, motivation, desire, and things like that for my Aries risings. So there's certain things, certain people, places, and things that you're letting go. Could be certain relationships as well that fall within your 8th house, okay, that help with bring in certain resources and things like that, compared to the 7th house, to where it's formulating these relationships and talking about certain things, contracts, diplomacy. This is developing the connection with those things. So it's not the most comfortable position. It's not something that is going to be easy to kind of release or easy to kind of see, but it's being illuminated. You probably experienced this all week for my Aries risings, okay, to where you can see certain resources ain't good to kind of be connected to. Certain people ain't good to be connected to because they ain't a positive resource and things like that. that's going to be significant. Okay, this is a natural transit though. The moon, you know, Scorpio birthed out the 8th house space and things like that. So one other thing that can be illuminated for my Aries risings is sexual energy. Okay, I think how you look at this may be changing and maybe transforming as well, based upon the last little bit when this energy is not here. It's illuminating something a little bit different right now. You may be noticing certain like this is a transit to where you may notice certain illnesses sexually as well and things like that. So right now is a good time to kind of get you know, ground that fire when it comes to the sex life. Okay, you know, Aries ruled by Mars and things like that. You don't want to run into any issues, things like that around this time. It may already be been illuminated. It may already come up around this time because the light is shining. The moon is shining light on these areas, right? And it may show certain emotional connections that you thought you could have trusted, you couldn't trust. That's one thing. Okay, it's all about the give and take. It's all about knowing your part and understanding other people's part. What makes you feel comfortable and secure needs to be balanced with also attention to other people's needs and also their comfort levels. It's not just about you. It's a good time to settle some debts, maybe financially or otherwise as well. If you're in any standing of like you owe people something, like it could be energetically as well. You want to clear that out. Maybe in a position to where you are forced to make a financial, you know, either a settlement or a large outlay of cash, then there may be a thing to where you may have to spend a lot more right now around this time, or you may find you are leaned upon for support or financial or the otherwise. You know, so people are looking at you for the chunky money and to be the resourceful one, compared to you doing that. It could be a little bit of both as well. And if that's the case, just be mindful of who you go out on the limb on. And, you know, people may look at you as the resourceful one or the reliable one, and things like that, to reach out for you. And if you are that person, if people are reaching out to you to be reliable, like for resources and things like that, that's fine. Just understand how to navigate that energy, and then how to not let that use you and things like that, to where you're over giving and things like that. And then you're missing out on your own endeavors and things like that. Okay, it's the only thing else I get to say for my Aries risings. Another thing is this house of mystery and the occult as well. So you could be immersing yourself deeply into different information, possibly, you know, the mystics and, you know, different formulations of spirituality and the occult and scrying and topics like astrology and tarot and things like that. We're all caught up, chat. Perfect. Let's move on to my Taurus. Okay, my Taurus sun, moon, risings. For my Taurians, okay, the full moon in Scorpio, my Taurian sun, moon, rising, this is going to illuminate your 7th house for my Tauruses. Let me drop this in the chat real quick. Boom. The thing about Taurus is that the moon is going to be on in your 7th house, okay, your 7th house of relationships, for my Taurus sun, moon, risings, okay. And of course, if you don't have your rising here, you may notice other energies play out like you know, similar. Like the thing is with the full moon, it illuminates so much that when we break it down, even if you're not a Taurus rising, you're a Taurus sun or a Taurus moon, you may go through an aspect of it as well. You may feel an aspect of it as well, for sure. You just have to reverse the kind of the roles and how it's playing out. But to continue on, my Taurus risings, a lot of times it's interesting because it's highlighting a lot of for my Taurus risings, it's highlighting a lot of marital energy for you guys. Okay, it's this house, it's the 7th house of relationships, people, places, and things. Okay, spouses, marriage, partnership, significant other, business partner, advisory and things like that. This is one-on-one relationships, okay? This is the 7th house, and that's the importance of that. So this is like time to kind of balance between, your own needs and those of others. Time to compromise and negotiate partnership. Partnership tests are possible now, to where you may be tested to whether maybe you're getting, developing a deep connection with some foundation towards your relationship life and things like that. And you may feel the pressure, the intensity of that. Like, is this the person I want to settle with and things like that? Is this the person I want to be my significant other, and whatever the case may be. Whatever period of time you may be going through right now. But it is important to focus on your own needs and the needs of other people, because your energy may be getting pulled. Like right now, there's a lot of things right now being illuminated to where it has you occupied, and you may not even want to do it. It has you doing things with, business partner and advisory, or things like that you don't even want to do. You may want to focus on the one-to-one relationships or the marriage or the significant other, but you may have to do certain business things or advisory things. And that takes away from your own needs, or your own emotional support system and things like that, and also those of another, right? So that they may need you to do something right now, and it's like you realize you need to be used for a totally other thing. So it's like you have to find the balance and understand, okay, well, this is you, and you have to show up for your partner or your spouse, and then this is you, and you have to show up for your work thing or your business partner, or what you do for work, and how you relate your business to people, okay? Because if you don't, then don't expect nothing to solidify itself, especially when it comes into long-term partners, okay? So let's see. So it's also a good time for my single Taurians out there. It's a good time to step into something new. If you want, the full moon here is it's letting something go. So you may notice something come into your space or your surroundings to where you're embodying that energy, or that's being seen from you. Okay, but a lot of times, right now, if there's something they're already involved with, this is the test. You're going through a major test right now, and this test will either show you whether, okay, this is going to be the person, or it's not going to be the person. So it's up to you to know how to perceive this thing for my Tauruses. Okay, I definitely see some marriage. I definitely see some rental property stuff, some business contracts or stuff, partnership stuff coming up. This could be a good time for getting new business deals, and even heighten the amount of income. 7th house Venus rules the 7th house and rules Libra, so this is a good energy for you. Like I said, great energy for marriage and significant other. I could see you getting placed in a situation right now to where this is like more long term. But like I said, you right now it's up to you to know what decision that needs to be made, and where you need to cultivate balance. Because if you have no balance, there is no long-term thing. Like, don't expect a partnership or a spousal agreement to actually be something that works or that's harmonious. Gemini. Moving on to my Geminis. Sun, Moon, Rising. Tap in. Let me type this in the chat real quick. Y'all come in fast. I don't even see where's my last message. Okay, yeah, we decent. My Geminis, this is going to be illuminating your 6th house, okay, the house of work. And for my Gemini risings, what have you been doing? This is ushering in a powerful transformation towards your work and career. Queen Char, I see you. Shout out to my Leo gang. Okay, we're actually gonna be on my Leo risings in a little bit here. We're doing all signs today. Full moon in Scorpio. Leos is gonna be illuminating your 4th house, but we're gonna be getting to that shortly. We have about 2 more signs to go, then we on to y'all. I'll share the live preparation, all that good stuff. Right now, with my Gemini risings, this is an interesting energy, okay? Because this is illuminating your 6th house. So this is the time to where you may need to lock in a new routine, a new health routine and things like that. A new work routine, some discipline right now towards whatever you got going on. It could be a health thing as well. Like the sixth house is illuminating your health, and Gemini, you may be putting your health on the back burner in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you've been, you do exercise or fitness and things like that, but now is the time to where it's like, you need to lock in. I need to start that program, or I need to get fit, or I need to get my body in shape and things like that for my Gemini risings. So right now it's important to kind of cultivate a routine, a schedule, some form of organization around your health. Not just that, but around your work. Another thing is you could be breaking habits right now. This is a good time to break habits. So for my Gemini risings, if you're breaking habits and things like that, you smoking, you heavy smokers, now's a good time to kind of quit a bad habit. If you're smoker, maybe you want to quit it right now. Maybe you have more energy to say, you know what, I'm gonna put that down. Scorpio is a very intense, quick-witted energy. When you feel a certain way, you don't know how to back that. So that's one thing. You can throw up your arms and say, you can't take how your boss has been treating you, things like that, right? So that's work. That's breaking free from the work environment. Remember, the full moon deals with release. So there's something, an old, outdated schedule that could be released, an outdated job, an outdated boss, and things like that. A career that you show up to routinely every day that doesn't support who you are. That needs to go. Okay, Gemini rising. And if you don't know your rising sign and this resonates, could be a damn Gemini rising. But it's illuminating the sixth house, okay? So like I said, let's keep it going. Those are just some examples, though, of course, of the full moon transiting, like I said, your sixth house. This is more of a grounded energy, though, for my Gemini rising. It's less. I see less emotional outbursts with this energy, which is good. It's more directed to Earth, Earth-like matters and understanding. Okay. I think right now is a good time to kind of plan things in advance too. Get pen to paper. I think that's a good thing to do right now. Avoid blaming others for your own state of being and being discontent. If that's how you feel, for those who I feel like that right now, the sixth house rules the nervous system. It's the Virgo energy, so it's gonna allow you to overthink and run into like that anxious energy and anxiety and things like that, and also fear. Okay, so if you don't have a structure towards what you got going on, you could fear something within your work. And if you're on the energy of fear, like your workplace, your routine, your health, if you're fearful around these things, these are signs that you don't have enough not control, but organization around these things. The higher octave of Virgo is being able to go within yourself and understanding what needs is the hermit, going within yourself, solitude, not just that, but formulating a routine that supports your health. Okay, and on the other side of Virgo, it's a polarity of Pisces, to where you don't care, it's all pleasure. It is delusion, and you don't want to fall into bad habits and things like that, such as bad drugs and things like that. That helps regulate the nervous system, which is the sixth house, and that helps you go to work and things like that. And no, it's not a good lifestyle. I'm telling you, don't do that. Don't do that. So man, like I said, these are just examples, right? And because it's an eclipse, and because it's Scorpio, is going to be intense, maybe dramatic. Like I said, you may actually quit a job right now. But of course, you don't need to necessarily do those emotional outbursts or declarations, especially if you, like I said, plan to do it in advance. Kind of get pen to paper right now. Anything else I want to say for you guys? You can use, like I said, you can use a surge of energy to kind of make positive changes to your routine. So if there's anything good that you need to shift from, use it. Be like, yo, where do I need to shift, and what do I need to shift with, right? How can I, what routines do I need to let go? Like, what was I saying that? What did I get comfortable with that I know doesn't support me? Things like that, right? Watch out for blaming. Yeah, try not to blame others. Take accountability. That's important, okay? Do something to improve your work conditions if they are annoying you, even if it's a small act of kindness, right, with a coworker, or bringing in something to maybe brighten up your desk, your office, switch up your environment and things like that. Okay, get going on your exercise and also your nutrition. So if you haven't focused on what you put in the body, this is why it's so important with the 6th house, because Virgo rules the nervous system. What you put in is a lot of times what we get out of that substance, that food, right? That's their currency that we consume, that we eat. So the diet and dietary health right now is super important. That may help bring your energy back up. So if you may be one of those Gemini risings right now with low energy, you don't feel like you can stick to a routine or program and things like that, gotta utilize some of that. Gotta utilize some of that energy. Okay. We know it's been on your mind anyways to get going and be fit. So now's the time to actually start it and formulate a regimen around it. Okay. Another thing is, like, if you have been locked in and you've been focused on something, it's another good time for something to come to fruition. Okay, so look out for certain opportunities, certain work opportunities and career opportunities, things like that. Even opportunities to support and take your health to new levels. Okay, that's it for my Geminis, though. Let's get it. Cancerians, it's your turn. It's your turn. My Cancerians, it's all about you right now. Let me drop it in the chat real quick so people can see. Appreciate everyone's patience. And then we're gonna be on to my Lions. So with that being said, for my Cancer risings, it's gonna be illuminating your 5th house, okay, which is your Leo house, which is the Leo house. I'm not gonna say your Leo, it's the Leo house. So health is 5th house is the house of expression, passion, not passion, but the house of expression, action, setting the stage, a little bit of drama, joy. Okay, that's another thing as well, and pleasure. Also sex. Keep that in mind. People always say it's the 8th house, not the 8th house. You know what I'm saying? It's and that's a topic for another video. But yeah, for another video. 5th house. Yeah, it's different. They're both sexual. They're both sexual, but it's different. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. The thing is, the 8th house has bad raps based upon manipulation tactics, but manipulation tactics happen based upon people not knowing how to be vulnerable and not knowing how to express their vulnerability. So sometimes manipulation tactics happen on the 8th house polarity, but they value the sexual energy way farther. I'm not gonna say way farther, but they value the energy to an extent that's very far compared to just doing it for pleasurable sakes, to where 5th house energy does it for more so pleasurable sake, like the feeling and having fun and things like that. 8th house is more sacred and understands sexual energy. That's why they go to that's why some 8th houses go to the extent to manipulate, but 5th house is more like, oh, this is what it is. It's just straightforward, and people just doing it to do it. Like, is that type of energy, more like surface level. So yeah, it's important to know how to navigate that. But anyways, my Cancerians, 5th house, house of pleasure, expression, okay, joy, okay. With this being said, this is releasing a form of expression of yourself, okay. What forms of expression of yourself do you need that needs to be released? What form of expression do you need to get more power and control around? Because there's forms of expression for yourself that are not locked in on, okay? For my Cancerians, I'm gonna say this: there's forms of expression that you're not locked in on. You express yourself in ways that may not be true to you, and we need to get more power and control. There needs to be a transformation in the house of expression, how you show up and how you actually talk to certain people in the world, because the energy you give off may not be and may not represent who you actually are or how you actually see someone. So my Cancer risings, it's important to, when you expressing yourself, your energy to someone, that you understand the meaning and reason. What's it for? What are you doing something for? A lot of time Cancer will express a certain way for them to feel, for another person to feel how they feel. And if it's not a positive feeling, they could be doing things in a manipulative way. So for my Cancer risings, it's important for you to not express formulations of manipulation tactics based upon your uncomfortability to make someone else feel comfortable with how you're expressing. So don't be manipulative, and that's in your nature. So you may not think like you're being manipulative, but people will look at it like that. So it's important for you to understand your own energy. When you don't understand you, then you're kind of lost in the sauce. So you have to kind of understand what you're doing as a Cancerian rising, and what you're here to do, and that's emotional relatability, cardinal water. And with that being said, this is why Cancerians can be some of the most powerful zodiac signs, because they can initiate, aka control the emotion in the room if they know what they're doing, and it can be very manipulative. That's why you have to kind of, you know, water signs is its own video. I'm gonna do that. It's own video. But Cancer, when you're showing up, so people don't get that from you, that people don't pick that up from you, you have to learn to express yourself in a mannerism that is in alignment with either them or with an alignment to you. It's not about how you make someone feel like you. How can you relate to them in a sense that has to do with you on an individual level. It's not about you trying to relate to them so they feel how you feel. It's you expressing yourself in a way that whether they relate to you or not, you're okay with it. It's not you forcing yourself to be relatable because you feel a certain way emotionally and you're not comfortable with that emotion. You have to get so comfortable with your emotions that it doesn't matter how the external world sees you. It's not going to sway you from how you express yourself. When the external world sways how you express yourself, then you show up differently to different people, and it gives negative vibes, and no one wants negative vibes. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing with my Cancerians. You have to, you know, don't be malleable to the way people treat you. Although that's sometimes what you do, because you know when you pick up something from someone, you know, you kind of bounce back with that energy. But as an initiator, learn new and fresh forms of self-expression and individual expression that is unique to you. Let the world shift to how you feel. Don't try to shift the world and things like that externally in manipulative ways because you feel a way. Use your feeling and express from that feeling to allow your world to change, your external world to change, and see that result from your internal. You know what I mean? But the reason why, my Cancerians, it's emotionally hard for you guys is because you guys don't understand the waters. You have to know how to understand the waters. And see, that's where Scorpions come in to show you how to understand the waters, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So, Cancer, boom, navigate that. So like I said, there's forms of expressions being transformed so you can get more power and control over who you are and what you show, how you show yourself to the world. Okay, this is setting the stage for yourself to be seen as well, right? This is also creativity. Your creativity may have been off for the last bit, and it's because your forms of expression and how you're expressing yourself isn't unique to who you are. So you're going through some deep transformation right now, understanding that you've been expressing yourself, maybe based upon other and external influences that may not be true to you, okay? Anything else I want to say? Right now is a good time to have fun, like there may be a good call to kind of have, that's just other areas of regular self-expression with the 5th house, okay? Besides that, the 5th house deals with fun, so you may want to have fun and have more joy around this time, okay? The thing is, the demands of the larger goals in your life have been kind of limiting your pleasure and how you find pleasure and you know, pleasure-seeking activities and things like that. There's been pressure from, let's say, from life and the bigger goals that you set. So when you set bigger goals and things like that, it kind of takes the fun out of certain things. And that's where the 6th house and the 5th house kind of collide. And we have to realize that setting goals, we don't work backwards. We have to work forwards to go the right direction. So when you formulate the self-expression, the goals and routine can then be set in the right mannerisms because you know where you find pleasure. If you don't know where you find pleasure, or you don't know how you express yourself, then what you do for work isn't going to be in alignment to who you are. And that's going to be the key. Okay. Could be a hard time to find everything you actually want to do, but without creative self-expression, whether it's playful, romantic, you know, it won't feel complete. So there's a form of letting, especially Scorpio, there's deep forms of expression that has to be let out. There's deep forms of emotion that you feel that needs to be communicated, and you may not have those relationships and things like that to communicate them to. So it may be where you find pleasure and where you can put it into art, creativity, okay, and find joy. But this is where your expression is going to kind of teach you these things, allow you to be a little bit more, feel a little bit more light, feel a little bit more wholesome, okay? So right now is a good time to do something self-expressive, fun, creative, paint, make some music, do some art, whatever it is for my Cancerian risings that allows you to go deep within your emotions, and put that on display. Alchemize it, okay? Alchemize the feeling. Take the feeling, turn it into something, make it feel cool, make it feel joyous. Have fun. This is also very healing, so it's not just about pleasure-seeking activities, or short-term fun, but also like long-term joy and long-term fulfillment, okay? Another thing that may be highlighting is you completing a certain creative project right now. There may be something creativity. If you want to set a creative project, that may be good to do right now. Not just that, but it can come to completion around this time. You can feel an overwhelming need to pour your heart out to a possible person, like you're expressing your love, you're expressing your care for someone who maybe valued your expression, or valued who you are at a very unique core. So now you're able to see that now. So you're very deeply expressive towards this energy, which is interesting. You could also notice some sort of epiphany within a romantic affair as well, okay? A bunch of activities surrounding your child, if you have a kid, for my Cancerians, if you have children, and also your inner child as well. There may be certain things coming to the surface that you used to keep within yourself, that kind of remind you of your younger versions of yourself and things like that. If you do have a kid, there may be certain energies that's illuminating around your kid right now as well, depending on where they have Scorpio. I would suggest looking into that. But fifth house is always about, it can also be about children as well. Fifth house is house of Leo. It deals with what you want to give birth to, okay? So full moon here, they could be illuminating something that has to do with your child, okay? And it's intense, it's in Scorpio. So I would definitely look towards the kids, make sure all the kids is okay and all the kids is straight, okay? For my Cancerians. Next, we are moving on to my Lions, okay? So my Leos are up next. Leo, it's your turn. Leo, let me drop this in the chat real quick. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. Shout out to my YouTube fam and Rumble. We've been active. How long we've been live right now? Yeah, we're almost 2 hours in. Perfect. Good timing. Okay, for my Leo, Sun, Moon, Risings, and we have it's just three more signs to go, chat. So my Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. If you guys are Lions, take notes. Okay, because this is going to be illuminating in your fourth house. What is the fourth house? Fourth house is house of family, comfort, the home life. Okay, so for my Leo risings, this is illuminating your home life in your house, where you find comfortability in the home and things like that. Okay, it's offering some sort of release and transformation towards your home life. Okay, and it's interesting because possibly the last 2 weeks you may have found you working hard towards your career goals, maybe other public matters and things like that. Depends on your personal life. But it's really striking a balance between energy spent on work and energy spent on domestic matters is essential, because there's certain things that you're probably spending a lot of times at work, and then there's certain things that may be on the back burner when it comes to your actual home life. or domestic matters. Okay, so there's certain things that you kind of have to look at within the home that may be put on the back burner because you've been working a lot. Okay, balance attention to your public and personal lives is what you need to focus on. So of course, where you feel like, for my Leo risings, where you feel like you have no private life and everything has to be shown or seen, that is where some balance needs to be made right now. Okay, because for my Leo risings, there's a lot that you show and a lot that people know and things like that, but when it comes to your home life, what is it that you allow yourself to keep private in terms of the level of vulnerability when it comes to the moon here, right? The moon in the fourth house loves to be here, don't get me wrong. It's actually home in this energy, so it's very comfortable here, but it knows that when it's private, and what's private is meant to be private. What's meant to be your home life is meant to be your home life, and there's no discrepancy between that. Okay, and that's what I mean by finding balanced attention between your public and personal life, because what's public doesn't always have to be seen, like for what's in your personal life and things like that. It's important to kind of have that balance of the two. So time to prioritize. Otherwise, you can run the risk of overextending yourself. A home, a family, property matter could grab your complete attention right now as well. So if you're looking to shift the home or possibly sell a home, this is a good time to do that. This is being illuminated right now. If you're selling a home, for my Leo risings, go through the paperwork, check the emails and things like that. Because 4 deals with a lot of work energy and structure. Okay, the foundation. So lock in. Empress said, just got back. What sign are we at right now? We actually are on Leo. We're on Leo rising. So Leo sun moon rising right now is happening. If for you guys are my Leo suns out there, remember that sun is going to be illuminating your career. Moon is going to be mom and home life. Career could be a little bit of your father, but rising is all about you. Okay, so with my Leo risings, it's illuminating your 4th house, family, home, and comfort. Okay, so it's really finding the balance between your private life and the attention that you show, to the world and things like that. And understanding that there's certain things to keep you private, that allow you to focus on yourself, that allow the self-love and self-rejuvenation. As I said, a home family matter could be grabbing your attention right now too. There may be a lot to do around the house, or a lot to do to support within the family. Okay, for my Leo risings right now. So if you're noticing that stuff on the back burner, that is significant. With that being said, it's in the sign of Scorpio, so it's deep home matters being illuminated right now, and it's being transformed for the better based upon what you experience within the home, okay, or what you experience within the public matter, the limelight. There may be certain versions of yourself that you're putting out there too much, and it's causing a discrepancy within your home, and it's causing a deep emotional uncomfortability, and that's where the transformation needs to be had, because of how you kind of show up in your regular life, or in your public life. Okay, there's a lot of that Leo ascendant is setting the stage for yourself, so a lot of who you are is seen, but if you have a family and things like that, they may not want to be seen like that. So balance up. Prioritize what's more important right now, which we see is the home. So the home life is more important than domestic life. Focus on the family. We know it's not your first house right now, so the first house isn't showing up, and being attention seeking isn't always, or isn't the thing that needs to be focused right now, and you probably know that for yourself too, for my Leo risings. It's not something that needs to be all there, because you can do it regularly. Right now, it's the home. You gotta focus on the home, because you're always gonna have that energy to show up publicly, but you're not always gonna have the same energy to focus domestically on the family and things like that. Eventually, people and family dynamics sometimes end. So you have to maintain the family dynamic if you want the home life to be the home and be comfortable within the home, things like that, whatever you got going on in there. So shout out to my Lions. Anything else I want to say right now? If you're a Leo sun, I don't know what house you'll have Scorpio, but for example, you're gonna go through the transformation and things like that through your career, and it may be attached to the home life. So it may be certain family members or matters connected to your career that need to be released, so you can actually set the stage properly in some way, shape, or form for your career, or for yourself to be seen in some way, shape, or form, or for your whatever it is, your work thing to be seen. But that has to be released in that area because there's likely some sort of connection with your work and family for my Leo sons, and it's directly illuminating your career and how there's some sort of connection that may be hindering your career. So keep that in mind, okay, for my Leo sons. And it may not be family connection, but it could be connection in general because it's in Scorpio. So what sort of deep emotional connection that you need to release that may not be helping your business and career for my Leo sons. Okay, appreciate you, Empress. Appreciate you, Empress. Yeah. So next we on to Virgo. We on to Virgo. You know what I'm saying? I think that Petty, let me write you down. Appreciate you tapping in for your personal reading. Full moon readings. The deal right now is 25 and above. So shout out to everyone locking in. Well, make sure you get booked. We gotta start on the new sheet of paper right now, as well. You get noted down. You'll be contacted after our live stream. So shout out to you. This sheet is now full. Shout out to Betty. This sheet's now full. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. Look at this. Donzo. We're on to the next. Wait, the next one full too. Okay, yeah, we flipping that. Okay, perfect. And when it comes to lions, I'll touch on the moon for you guys for my Leo moons. This is likely happening as well, but you know what? For my Leo moons, it's likely happening within your home as well, but likely emotionally and probably towards your mother figure. So for my Leo moons, the Scorpio full moon is illuminating your connection, is causing a square to your mom in your life, and your emotions. Okay, so your emotional state. There with the Scorpio moon here, it's a square, so you're learning how to gain more power and control over your emotional state, as well as your home life, because this is you may have a stronger influence for my Leo moons, a stronger influence. Your mother may have a stronger influence around how you feel, or your home life and things like that, and you may be wanting to step into your own individual path for yourself. And the Scorpio full moon, the square, is kind of illuminating that to you, to where it's like it's a learning period. You're learning how to do that. You're learning how to release the connection to your mom and your home, to then step into your own path of individuality as a lion, being the 5th house of individuality. So it's kind of formulating your unique situation for yourself when it comes to the moon, because you're looking at your home, and not just your home, but it could be your mom. Okay, so if you're going through one or the other, for my Leo moons that are going through it with their mom or their parents, they're letting go of how their mom made them feel in life, to cultivate their own emotional state. And they're going, it has them going deep within themselves emotionally, because they've attached to their mom and how they feel. So there has to be a deep transformation to there, and that has to be released. For the lions who are noticing this energy within their home and things like that with the Leo moons, this could be happening in both areas as well if you're a Leo moon, but the ones who are on the home aspect of things, you're trying to shift and step into your own form of stability and your own family or home dynamic, where you're comfortable. Your own environment is important for you right now. So the Leo moons, you may be shifting, transformation, and releasing certain connections and feelings that you have within the home, stepping into your own path, own kind of lifestyle. I mean, I'm hearing lifestyle. You're like shaping lifestyle is important for my Leo moons and things like that. And then for the sons, this is happening as well, just in the sake of your career, and possibly a little bit of your father figure, or father figure. It doesn't have to be like your dad. It could be your uncle or something, or a masculine energy in your life that help kind of, you know, lead or find direction. You find direction in. It could be also your actions. So when we talk about the sun, it's not just career, but it's kind of how you show up in the world. So like a lot of times this will be happening, but in the sake of your career. Okay, so there's likely for my Leo sons a lot of things that are going on when it comes to status, what you want to uphold, who you are, what people know you for, because the 10th house and the sun is different, it's similar. Sorry. So as a Leo sun, what you want to uphold and how you are and what how you're seen, and what people pick up from you, that 10th house energy, what you uphold to represent who you are, is going to be transformed, because there may be certain connections, okay, within the work environment and career that need to be released. And it's really because it's a square, and it's a frustration to maybe who you are and what you do. Scorpio, like, you may like to set the stage and for yourself in certain ways, and Scorpio is kind of telling you, that's fine, but deep connection is fine. So like there may be partnerships coming about as well during the full moon, but it's a transformation to how you navigate your career. It's not just you're taking action differently. No, like it's going to be an entire let's say how you communicate to people and what people see from you and how you deal with people in a transactional manner is going to be completely different. It's going to be transformed. It's not based upon connection, but based upon representation. So if these connections that you have aren't representing you or your career in the way that you represent yourself, then you're going to have to eclipse all these connections and things like that for my lines, okay? For Natty, I appreciate you tapping in. What's up? We were actually breaking down quite a bit for Leo right now, so we were just getting into Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and things like that. Janelle, I'm going to make sure to write you down for your reading. Shout out to everyone commenting 3. You'll be contacted after the live stream for everyone booking their readings. Full moon deal is 25 and above, so make sure to lock in, guys. Don't miss out. Okay, perfect. So that's one thing. Yeah, no, for sure. Empress, got you. So if you have a Leo sun or moon, I would definitely keep that in mind. Chanel, you'll be contacted for your personal reading afterwards as well. Yeah, okay. Same with wait, no, Natty didn't book. Okay, cool. We're Gucci. Yeah, so that's one thing. Those are some things I would say. Okay, for the Leo Sun Moon Rising theme. Okay, so keep that in mind. Plays it a little bit differently, but with that being said, that's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be. Like I said, knowing your rising, keeping your rising sign on hand is gonna be key, guys. So keep that clutch. At the end, we're gonna be doing a Q&A for personal questions and answers. So if you guys have any personal questions, we'll do 3 people. We'll do 3 people, 1 tarot card each for each questions. For each question, possibly, okay? Because we had a couple questions come through. That's if people are here at the end and things like that. Peachy, we just finished the Leo breakdown. We just finished the Leo breakdown. Not gonna lie. We on to Virgo right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. We highlighted quite a bit. I would recommend, replay gang. You don't have to watch that, but I'm gonna timestamp everything. I'm gonna timestamp everything because we was going in. I'm not gonna lie. We was going in. We done broke down a couple different energies as well, because someone requested to go more as well. Yeah, Empress Empress requested some extra insights for my lines. So we did go into not just the rising sign for my Leos, but your sun sign and your moon sign. Okay, the moon deals with a little bit of the home, what you're going through in the household. Okay, so quick long story short, The moon is a little bit of your mother figure in your home life, okay? There may be a little bit of a transformation and a release regarding that area of your life right now. When it comes to the moon here, it's power and control over certain, understanding the influence emotionally, because the moon deals with the home. So there may, and the mom and your mom, okay? So this could be one and connected, interconnected. A lot of times it is, but it's kind of releasing the connection towards your mother figure to kind of cultivate your own home dynamic, okay, within your own household. With Scorpio energy here, dealing with power and control, Pluto, okay, so it's stepping into your power. But how? If you have a Leo moon, this is you doing that through your home life and through your emotional state, okay? So you gaining power and control emotionally allows you to develop a level of comfortability, which then instills a home dynamic or a family dynamic. You see what I'm trying to say? So the family dynamic, these things kind of, they're like building blocks. They don't just like fall into place. People think they just happen, but no, like as within, so without, as above, so below. It happens like that. So when you have an emotional state, then you have a form of comfortability, then you know where you're comfortable at, then you can formulate a home dynamic and things like that. A lot of times our mother shows us these things. You know, we're a lot more comfortable and a lot more vulnerable towards our moms and things like that. Right now, there may be a release towards these things and a transformation of these things, because where do you need to show a level of individuality? Because if you're a Leo moon and things like that, it's going to square your emotional state and your home life based upon power and control and power struggles. You may feel a level of influence based upon the family dynamic and your formulations of upbringing. Okay, for the sun, it's going to be that, but in the terms of your career, business, and how you show up day to day in your life. Less of a father figure. I like to say Saturn is more of our dad, our father, and things like that. And I say daddy in astrology, daddy in astrology. So that's more into Saturn. It can play out sometimes in rare cases with the sun, but a lot of times I like to say more career. So if it's a work thing and things like that, if you're a Leo sun, it's like the sun and the moon in Scorpio is illuminating how you feel towards your career, certain power struggles you have towards your work, right? It's understanding how you feel towards these things and what needs to be transformed in order to represent who you are as an individual, right? So at an individual level, your career may not represent you, right? With the 5th house and Leo being individuality, what is your career and where's the discrepancy within your work, and where do you feel tired or exhausted, like you need to like it's ready to let something go within your career and things like that as a Leo sun. This is how you usher in the transformation that's actually healthy for you, to where you can find more emotional excitement towards what you're doing, because you're letting something out, you're letting something go, something else is able to come on in. Okay, so if it's, I'm not saying like, okay, completely quit your job and things like that, but if you know there's a misalignment between what you're doing for work and who you are or what you represent as an individual, how much does that discrepancy emotionally burden you and things like that? I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, but because feeling guilty goes farther. If you feel guilty about what you do, that's more of a burden on you than someone who doesn't feel guilty that what they do and they don't care. So you have to ask yourself those questions first, like, okay, what do I do in my life? How serious do I take it? How important is it for me to feel comfortable around my work, around what I do, around what I like to do and what I represent, and how important is it for me to represent myself through my work? These are questions to kind of ponder on right now. You know what I mean? So full moon kind of has people pondering around this time, around this energy, which is good. That's key. So that's the type of stuff that you kind of want to ask. Okay, and then with the moon, if you guys are Leo moon, more towards the home. Okay, home, family archetype, relationship to your mom and things like that, connection to your mom. Scorpio is more deep connection to your mom, so it's not necessarily direct relationships, but it's the direct influence emotionally, based through connection, that guilty by association type energy, because that's what's going to depict your emotional state kind of like your home and family archetype and things like that. If you haven't shifted from the emotional states of your parents and things like that, like you probably realize they have a big influence of your life, like on your life, and how, you know, like on your value system, your beliefs, things like that. If you look at most people's beliefs, that stems from most of their parents, things like that. They don't do that for themselves to think, oh, like, I don't want that belief, I'll shift my own belief. Like, they don't really do that. So most people don't. So you have to understand, it's not necessarily shifting completely because it's Scorpio. So it's deep connection, but it's just being transformed in a way that works for you and it's more harmonious. Instead of like a limitation to where you're only comfortable with the things that you know growing up in your household, or you're only comfortable with the conversations you hear your mom talking about or your family talking about. And then you're realizing now, like, that's not how the world is. Like, there's many different conversations and topics out there that people talk about, and it's not just about what you know in your house. and that is another thing that Leo moons are gonna have to deal with. Okay, so, and it really all highlights them on an individual level, because Leo deals with individuality, and I like to say spirituality is just realizing your own individuality. So people are like, the more spiritual you get, the more you're just going to be aware of yourself and how to navigate your own energy. Okay, I think that's for the most part. Shout out to my Lions. You know what I mean? Shout out to my Lions. So with that being said, we're going to move right on to Virgo, right on to Libra. And like I said, for my Lions out there, who I'm breaking this down for, I know my Leo risings have this in the 4th house, so it's illuminating their home. Okay, it's illuminating their home, their emotional state, comfortability, where they feel comfortable. Okay, and there may be a transformation within the house, getting a new rental property, finding balance from the work and home life, creating a routine to you know, where you can withdraw within yourself and things like that. That's being shifted. For my Leo suns, and you have a different rising, whatever house that you have your sun sign in, that's where you're going to be like shaping your individuality. So the Scorpio moon is helping you transform set areas, okay, set areas in your life. If you know where you have Scorpio, but based upon your rising sign, you'll know how that's highlighting that specific area of your life. But you see, as a sun sign here, it's going to square wherever you have the Leo sun. So, but like, no matter what house you have it in, just understand that it's going to be a square from that house. So whether it's you have your sun sign in your 1st house, it's really, really rare, but can happen. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, the Scorpio moon is going to be a square the opposite house to that. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be a learning period towards that area where you have your sun. That's what I should say. That sounds better. So if you don't know how to navigate it, look at where you have your sun sign and understand that that's where you're going to be showing up for yourself a little bit differently based upon the influence of the full moon. Okay. Rip, sorry, appreciate you. Haha, yup, Peachy, you already know. Oh, DW, let me write you down. 2026. Appreciate you tapping in for the reading. DW _ 2026 _ hobby. Got you. Be contacted afterwards, brother. Okay, so moving on to my Virgos. Okay, so my Virgos, this is illuminating your 3rd house. Rumble family. Let me just make sure I drop this in the chat for you all. My Virgos. Yeah, coming in with the big Leo energy. I see you. My Virgos. Okay, chat. Let's get it. Virgo is in the 3rd house. Okay, so with that being said, Virgo, this is illuminating your 3rd house of locality, travel, cars, local trips and things like that. Local travel, for sure. In the full moon, I would definitely say keep an eye out for any vehicles and transportations for my Virgos. You can notice certain things being, you know, like your vehicle can break down right now being a Virgo rising. I'm not gonna lie to you. That shit's important. Another thing, transformation towards how you communicate and analyze. Okay, I think the moon in Scorpio here is letting you is letting go of some form of communication, and it's not really letting it go, but it's transforming it. It's like an alchemy, because the full moon always deals with release, but Scorpio deals with transformation, and that's the formation of release we have to navigate right now. So you being a Virgo, it's in your third house, and that's the house of communication, social media, landscape, the local neighborhood, and also local travel, right? So cars, vehicles, things like that. Mercury energy. And there may be some power and control, that you may need to step into there. There may be you stepping into more of a role to better your communication, better your transportation and things like that as well. Because I can see you stepping into a more organized role, if that's you, from my Virgo rising, to where you have to be more, a little bit more pen to paper, a little bit more critical towards the goals that you set and things like that with yourself. So you have understanding on how to take action in the right ways. The third house, local neighborhood. Okay, local neighborhood. You could be moving as well. You could be moving for my Virgos, finding a new home and things like that. Researching for new homes around this time. Loxby, I got you written down right now. I'm gonna note you down on this handy dandy paper. Live reading deals are 25 and above. You'll be contacted after this live stream. So I appreciate everyone tapping in for their inquiry. We're on my Virgo rising right now. Okay, so with that being said, Scorpio in the third house. Let's continue. And you may notice yourself a little bit restless in the last little bit, last 2 weeks and things like that. Kind of having to mend a little bit more, going a little bit extra length and things like that. Kind of looking for more from life. Just than just something mundane and just your typical earth energy. But now the mundane is kind of catching up. Errands need to be run. People are, talking your ear off and things like that. That's one thing with the third house too, communication. So right now is going to be a good thing to look at phone calls, do any paperwork that needs to be done. If you're in the field of business, whatever that, business, career, entrepreneurship, and things like that, now is the time to kind of look over the emails, check the phone calls, check the voicemails. If you're expecting anything in terms of information from my Virgo risings, now is a good time to look over those areas of communication, okay? As well as social media DMs as well, yeah. Marketplace inboxes, things like that. Another thing I could say is paperwork, contractable agreement could arrive. Sudden need to run an important errand locally. Maybe you're going different, city to city, different cities for some sort of important matter that may just happen to need your attention or require your attention. That's key. Okay, so short trip could be on the could be a part of the picture. Like I'm talking about, cars, things like that. Could be local flights. Or domestic flights, nothing too crazy. So that's going to be key. Keep that in mind. Anything else I want to say for y'all? You are pushed to find some balance in this area, so do what needs to be done, so that you can kind of free yourself a little bit up for more adventurous and kind of fulfilling activities in these areas. You probably do want to travel a little bit right now and do more things, get some more control over your vehicle, so you can do more travel and trips and leisure, find more pleasure in things that you do locally and things like that. Samantha, I got you noted right now. Appreciate you tapping in for the reading. We are breaking down Virgo rising, Sun, Moon, rising right now for the Scorpio full moon. For everyone booking their personal reading, live readings are 25 and above today, so that's the deal for our live stream deal. So we're gonna reach out to you guys after this live stream. Got a lot of people to reach out to, holy. But that's what it is. That's what it is. No, we haven't went live for a little bit to drop any sauce and gems and things like that. We've been doing readings all week for a couple of my other clients, so I wanted to come on here for my lines and provide the sauce. So let's continue moving. Hams, appreciate you tapping in. Hi to you. Respect. We're breaking down Virgo rising right now, Virgo sun moon rising. So for the Scorpio full moon, we just broke down the Leo risings and things like that. It's illuminating your 4th house of family, but Scorpio full moon, powerful transformation happening right now where you need to get powerful, where you need to gain power and control in your life. Okay, so all the ascendant readings going down right now. You guys will be contacted, and you guys will be seeing where we need, what we need to release in order for us to get power and control in our life and things like that. Yes, I can. Just drop a 3 in the chat. I'll make sure to write you down if you want to book or inquire for a reading. Everyone gets listed on our handy dandy paper right here. We are 2 sheets deep from the first side. It's our second live stream now because our first one ended. But let us know. Let us know if you guys are interested. We do astrology breakdowns. If you already have your personal chart, that's perfect. Saves us time. You guys can send us just your chart through. Astrology readings for full moons are 25 and above. That's our live stream deal. Okay, you guys know our regular live stream deal is 50 and above. We're doing a little deal for the full moon today for the fast action takers. Okay, for the fast action takers. We haven't went live for a little bit. We had to deliver a couple readings over the last week for actually, yeah, I've had NDA non-disclosure, so I can't even say who we're reading for. It's crazy. That's the interesting thing about spirituality. You know, some people keep their spirituality private, things like that, which is fine. Like, it ain't for everyone. Like I say, spirituality is really a reference to individuality. You know, you're learning yourself and how to communicate, navigate your own energy. So, for the Virgos, and Virgians and things like that, is there anything else I need to say? Yeah, really just do what needs to be done so you can enjoy the local neighborhood and things like that. You know, you may be feeling a little bit adventurous right now, but you may have more work matters to attend to. So yeah, you need to focus up, develop that structure so you can enjoy the local matters and things like that. You may work locally and things like that. For my Virgo sons, you could do a lot of career work that stems from like driving, Uber, things like that, drop-in pickups, deliveries, things like that. You know, three energy deals with a lot of local travel, driving, and things like that. Okay, I noticed that from a lot of life path 3s as well. People born on the 3rd, local travel and driving is heavy for them. Okay. Anyways, last but never least, Libran. Okay, so Libra, this is illuminating your 2nd house, and with that being said, the 2nd house deals, you know, it's the house of Taurus, which is good, you know. Venus also rules Taurus and things like that, so it's not the worst placement to have Libra, but it's the energy of Scorpio is in your 2nd house. Sorry, I was talking about you being a Libra rising. So Scorpio in the 2nd house, yeah, it's an opposite placement, never mind. But at the same time, it allows you to go deep with your possessions and material earnings and things like that. How you and what you value in terms of material possessions. The Scorpio 2nd house goes deep with, you know, what they possess, what they value, and how to navigate that. Especially how to navigate their gifts and talents as well. They usually can be someone who can be very gifted because they go deep with what they're talented with. Okay, so that right there is kind of illuminating that. Besides that, could deal with aspects of your relationship as well. Okay, so intimacy, issues of power and control. I can see, you know, there may be joint talks of finances here, so joint finances and, you know, how people play their role in terms of, you know, earnings, money, things like that. You know, sometimes people want to keep certain things private, which is fine. These things are meant to kind of be private, but if they're not mended within the right connection or the right relationships with the right people, then it's not really going to work. Right? You could be sharing, you know, finances with someone and things like that, letting them all in, but if it's not in harmony to what you value and things like that, and y'all values ain't in alignment, the finances and doing all that stuff and the joint bank accounts and things like that don't go as well. So let's keep going. So yeah, it's another thing is, you know, the house of Taurus, recognize what makes you comfortable. The full moon here relies, you know, is going deep here, and it's illuminating, like, listen, where do you find comfort? And a lot of times, Scorpio here, you find comfort, you know, through deep connection and things like that. It's not just typical mundane material things that you find value in. And you kind of really, you know, realizing that right now. So it's kind of balancing the give and take as well, of intimacy, the giving and receiving of pleasure, right? The second house is that energy of receiving, so it's being a little bit more receptive. Right now, instead of being so forceful or putting out, you know, the cardinal, as a Libra rising, the cardinal air and things like that is more of the initiator. So you can initiate certain formulations and things like that. That's preferred. So, you know, you can incentivize certain dynamics to be done and things like that. But if it's not in alignment to the other person's or the other party's, you know, value system or gifts and talents, then it won't really resonate for long, and it won't stabilize long term. So there may be some issues right now highlighting, you know, surrounding sharing and what is shared, what is yours, what is theirs. It's coming into focus. As well as issues of, I say power, like I said, what's yours, what's mine. So like over like possessions, things like that. People can be very possessive right now. Your comfort zones matter. And like I said, now is the time to kind of take care of your own needs without kind of eclipsing the needs of others. So it's like, you know, focus on what helps you without cutting off, you know, being super intense and not worrying about the energy of other people. That's why I say this energy of Scorpio is not really just release, but also but transformation, it's alchemization, it's integration as well, right? And especially moving into Sagittarius, to where you have to integrate the feeling, the fire, the vision, the action, in a way that you resonate with, and understanding how to resonate with that and how to maneuver that with the mutable energy. Okay, so the second house being the house of values and possessions, you're gonna feel some power and control issues there. You know, like, you know, this is mine, this is yours, things like that. Fairness is really illuminated here around possessions and also money, finances. It's not the most comfortable position. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. It's not comfortable for my Libra risings, but it's gonna take you out of this stronger than ever, for sure. Anything else I have to say for you guys? Let me see. Yes, it's like maybe you've been compromising your comfort for the sake of someone else, and like for the sake of another party, a relationship, and things like that. And now you're kind of realizing, like, dude, like, where's your comfort zone? Where's your comfort? Like, where are you, and things like that, because you compromise a lot for other people, my Libra risings, okay? So how can you take care of your own needs without saying, you know, fuck the other person's needs? Right? Especially with Scorpio being as intense as it is. So some things that I would recommend, chat. Anything else? But that is all signs, chat. We are done. So we are complete. If anyone has any personal questions or Q&As right now that they want to drop in the chat, any birthdays and things like that they want to drop, any questions that they want to answer via tarot, we'll pull one card for 3 people max. We'll be pulling 1 card. Okay, we're gonna give it a 5-minute span. If no one drops anything else, we are done for today. Everyone who booked and inquired for the reading, we're gonna be reaching out to them afterwards as well, if you haven't been contacted already. Okay. Hams, I'm not sure if you're still on the live, but I'm going to note you down here, and I'm going to reach out to you after to see if you do want a personal reading. Okay. UEIDA. Okay, perfect. Besides that, chat, this was a very incentive and incentful type of live stream. Okay. Damn, I didn't drop Libra in there though. It's okay. With that being said, we're pretty much out of here, chat. We're gonna be keeping an eye out for any birthdays and things like that at the bottom of the chat. Anything that comes in, but for the most part, pretty much Audi 5000. I'm gonna ride out here in a little bit. Looking for any Q&As, just double checking the chat. Shout out to my YouTube family and also Rumble. For those on Instagram, make sure you subscribe to MC333. on all platforms, and lock in. Okay. What degrees are we on right now? We are at 28 degrees, Moon in Scorpio, chat. Mercury just entered Taurus. We're now conjunct the Sun. So, forms of communication, Mercury slowing down as well. Okay, so how we communicate and how we're showing up in the world is slowing down. We're gonna do 2 separate videos as well, Mercury and Taurus. We're gonna also do a Uranus and Gemini. Okay, Uranus and Gemini. Maybe we'll do a live stream on Mercury and Taurus because it's a semi-fast transit. We are gonna make a video on Uranus and Taurus. It says 0 degrees. Okay, so keep an eye out on that. With that being said, bro, dubs in the chat. Good day. So I appreciate everyone that is here, still listening in, things like that. We will be going live possibly tomorrow, and we'll talk a little bit about the Mercury and Taurus. Okay, we're going to discuss Mercury and Taurus energy and what that means. It's 0 degrees, and there's some things we want to talk about. This is our forms of analyzation, communication, forms of thinking, and things like that. Okay, so these are all being maneuvered and transitioned right now. It's also a good time to rest the mind because we are 0 degrees. So it's a good time to kind of focus on the mental attributes, what fuel you mentally, in terms of allowing you to get more mental energy right now with Mercury and Taurus. Fueling your understanding is important. Also grounding, but we're gonna get into it on another video. Okay, so shout out to all y'all who was tapping in here. Let's ride out. Everyone who's not in our Patreon, get inside of our Patreon or YouTube membership right now, exclusive. You can start and become a member at around $2.99 and things like that a month. Make sure y'all sign up ASAP. Get in, tap in. Members only content. Members only content. Members only readings. Y'all wanna know. It's early access to members as well. So Uranus and Taurus, as well as Venus in Gemini, okay, and then Mercury in Taurus. We will drop as members only first, okay, early. So make sure y'all subscribe, lock in, and do it. All the links and things like that are in bio. You can join the Patreon for free as a free member, so don't be alarmed. You can join the Patreon for free. Get in, because we do post members only content within the Patreon. Oftentimes, whether it's free or paid, it depends, it differs. You guys get different things with different tiers, but shout out to Patreon, shout out to YouTube members. YouTube memberships and Patreon members get the same videos. It's just wherever you guys feel more comfortable to sign up, whether on Patreon, whether on YouTube. We have people on both. So shout out to y'all, and I shall see everyone here next time. Polarity, the EP2 is out now. Make sure y'all go run that up. All platforms, MC333. Appreciate everyone tapping in. And tomorrow we're going to be breaking down some of the other energies, Venus and Taurus, and as well as the Moon entering Sagittarius. So stay tuned. Burn another pound. It's all foaming in areas. I got my friends sweating my hand. Moon just sent the Taurus. It's all good if it's opposing me. Well, got me in a whole different mood. That's okay. My circle time's full. Maybe showing up in my space like, no, I'm not your boo-boo. In order to see it through, you just gotta feel it through. If you rock with me, go to the top. Bad energy, we banish it. No, I can't let them bring me down for these bands. I gotta stop. For these bands I gotta stop. For my light I just shine. I don't know, I some testing. If he was really on your path, you wouldn't have done it for the clout.